What if the thing destroying your peace every single night wasn't coming from outside? What if the monster under your bed was living inside your own head? This is the story of a man who was haunted for weeks, until one question shattered the illusion and set him free. And by the end of this, you might realize you've been haunted too. Stay with me to know this ghost story. He wasn't a dramatic man. And their love wasn't loud. It lived in small rituals. The kettle she turned on before he woke up. The exact amount of sugar she remembered he liked. The jacket she laid out because she checked the weather first. No applause. No audience. Just two people quietly choosing each other every day. Sometimes she would rest her hand on his back while he read, not to say anything, just to remind him she was there. And he never thought much of it. Because when something beautiful happens every day, you start believing it will happen forever. You never realize which ordinary moment will become the one you miss the most. One evening, without warning, she collapsed. Doctors. Hallways. Sleepless nights. And then the moment medicine runs out of answers. On her final night, she held his hand and whispered, "I'm scared. Scared you'll forget me. That someone else will take my place." Then she made him promise. "Promise me you'll never love another woman. If you break that promise, I won't rest." She was gone before morning. And he carried those words like a sacred oath. Grief is strange. At first, it's a wall. Solid. Unmovable. He kept his promise without trying. He wasn't interested in love. He was barely interested in himself. He moved through life like a shadow. Work. Eat. Sleep. Repeat. But grief doesn't freeze time. Life keeps moving, even when you don't want it to. He met someone unexpectedly. She was kind. Easy to talk to. She made him feel like himself again, something he hadn't felt in a long time. And that terrified him. Every laugh felt like betrayal. Every moment of happiness felt like breaking a vow. He wrestled with it for months. But slowly, he allowed himself to live again. They got married. And on the night that should have been filled with joy, he heard a voice. "You broke your promise." He turned. She was standing there. Not angry. Not screaming. Just watching. Then she vanished. He didn't sleep that night. But she came back the next night. And the next. And what terrified him most wasn't just her presence, it was what she knew. Every private conversation. Every whisper. Repeated back to him word for word. He began to unravel. Was she watching him? Listening? Always there? He stopped sleeping. Stopped being present. Stopped feeling safe. The man his new wife married slowly disappeared into fear. Finally, desperate, he sought out a wise master. He told him everything. The visits. The words. The sleepless nights. "What do I do?" he asked. The master listened quietly. Then he said, "Tonight, ask her one question." That night, when she appeared, he didn't step back. For the first time, he stood his ground. "You know everything," he said. "You hear everything. You see everything." She remained silent. "If you truly know everything, answer one question. If you answer correctly, I'll do whatever you ask. But if you can't, You leave me alone forever." She agreed. He bent down, picked up a handful of pebbles, closed his fist tightly, without counting them. He looked her in the eyes. "How many pebbles are in my hand?" Silence. Seconds passed. For the first time, she had nothing to say. And then she dissolved, like smoke fading into air. She never returned. Weeks later, he returned to the master. "She's gone," he said. "But why did that question work?" The master replied calmly. "Because there was never any ghost." The man froze. No spirit. No presence from the other side. Only you. She knew everything because she was built from your own mind. Your guilt. Your broken promise. Your shame, shaped into something visible. The weight was too heavy to carry consciously. So your mind gave it a face. A voice. A form. And the pebbles, the man asked. Even you didn't know how many were in your hand. And since she was only ever your creation, she couldn't know either. The moment you asked something your own mind couldn't answer, the illusion collapsed. The man sat there quietly. And for the first time in months, he exhaled. He wasn't haunted by a ghost. He was haunted by guilt. And guilt only survives when you never question it. Now ask yourself, what ghost are you carrying? A mistake you made? A promise you broke? A version of you that no longer exists? What if the thing haunting you is just a story your mind keeps replaying? And what question could you ask that would finally make it disappear? If this story made you reflect on something you've been carrying, share it with someone who might need it. And if you want more stories that challenge the illusions in your mind and help you reclaim your peace, subscribe this channel.